Everyone are welcome. Now we all knew, didn't we, that Labour have an out preference.
The core is rotten, and I can behold the tide.
A massive out preference, I should say. But what we didn't know was just how vile it goes. This is Diane Abbott and a couple of other Labour MPs as they argue against deporting murderers and rapists. Yes, you heard that right. Have a listen to this. This is a disgrace. Before you do, though, don't worry, there is an expert response at the end.
Does the minister accept that many people feel that this mass deportation is both cruel and potentially dangerous? Cruel because he is separating families of people who have served their sentence, separating families just weeks from Christmas, and possibly dangerous because he is deporting vulnerable people, communities we know are particularly vulnerable to coronavirus, in the middle of a pandemic.
The process of mass deportation, which is fundamentally wrong, is notorious for bundling people out of the country without due process. Does the minister recognise that this decision effectively amounts to double jeopardy when those with some lesser offences have already served their custodial sentence? And does he recognise that the message that it sends about the consequences of being a white offender or being a black offender, given the racial disparities in sentencing? I hope the minister agrees that no one is above the law.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Government plans to push ahead with the mass deportation of 50 people to Jamaica this week are both obscene and irresponsible and fly in the face of the damning EHRC report released only last week, which declared the hostile environment.
The cost of deportation, economic, ethical and most importantly human, cannot be justified. Can the minister confirm that an equalities impact assessment has been completed regarding these proposed deportations to demonstrate that you have paid due regard to equalities legislation?
The Honourable Lady talks about human cost. Let me tell her about the human cost caused by these criminals. What about the children who have been sexually assaulted by these criminals? What about the victims who have been murdered by these people? What about the victims of violent assault? What about the people whose lives have been ruined by drug addiction or who have been the victims of rape? What about those human tragedies? The Honourable Lady and many members opposite appear to have nothing whatsoever to say about the human tragedy of the victims.
Nailed it, didn't I? As far as I'm concerned, the safety issue of these people, whether they've done the time or not, is enough to deport every single one of them. And her lack and their lack of compassion and feelings, because it seems to be running on feelings, doesn't it? Feelings for the victims and our loved ones is non-existent. All in favour of out preference. Am I wrong? Let me know if you think I'm wrong. Stay sane. See you on the next one.